Newcastle United 1, Norwich City 1 in the Premier League last night. And Kieran Clark, you've seriously cost us big time. This is the review. Hi everybody, I'm Paul back again, and yes, we are reviewing today the match last night, which finished 1-1 at St James's Park between Newcastle United and Norwich City, in what was, magnitude-wise, a huge game for Newcastle to try and get their first win of the season and 3 points on the board in an attempt to catch the pack in the relegation zone. It didn't quite work out like that. When I saw the team line up, there was one player I was unhappy with being in there, and it was Kieran Clark. Federico Fernandez back on the bench for the Toon last night, but unfortunately couldn't make the starting lineup for some reason. But we went with what I thought was a decent back four, as I say, apart from Clark. We had Dubravka in goal. We went with Mankio right back, Jamal Lewis left back. We had Shah and obviously Clark in the middle. Midfield was Shelvey and Willock. Out wide was Fraser and Joe Linton, with St Maximin just behind Callum Wilson, who got the captain's armband last night, which I was pleased to see. Although, you know, we don't really have an out-and-out leader in this squad. We know that. We know that somebody needs to come in with those leadership qualities and see us through. But the game kicked off and we went on the front foot. There was no doubt about that. We had a go at Norwich in the first 5-6 minutes. It was looking okay. We looked like very balanced. We looked like we were going to go for the throat and hopefully put a few past Norwich. Didn't work out like that, because up steps none other than Kieran Clark, who many fans have said is done now, Premier League-wise. He's done, he's finished. Yes, he's been a great servant to Newcastle United over the years, no doubt about that, but the guy's just not up to it anymore. And he tries to clear the ball, which is a very weak right-footed clearance. It bounces off Pukki, and he's through. He's clean through. And obviously Kieran Clark then comes up behind him and sends him to the floor. Straight red card, no doubt about it in anybody's opinion. Yes, it went to VAR, but that was just to confirm the referee hadn't made an error, or that one of the Newcastle players wasn't catching Pukki in time before he got a shot away. But it was, for me, clear red card, no doubt about it. But what I have an issue with is, what the hell was he doing? You know, I mean, yes, you made a mistake, Kieran Clark, fair enough, no doubt about it. Pukki's through. Let him go. You know, it's 8 minutes into the game. Don't bring him down and go down to 10 men. If he scores, he scores. Hold your hand up and admit you made a mistake. But we have loads of time to get back into the game. Another 80-odd minutes of the game. So there's no reason to bring him down and cost us a man. You know, the fact is that Pukki might have gone through. Dubravka may have saved it. He may have come out, challenged him, and Pukki may have missed it. You don't know. But what you do know in them circumstances is you go in like that, you bring him down, you're going off. And you put your team in a hell of a position in a game that we needed to win. You've let yourself down and the club by being reckless. And how many times have we said that about Clark and Lascelles all season? Both of them. Absolutely ridiculous. And of course we're on the back foot from that moment on, because Norwich have a spare man. You know, Dean Smith has got these players well drilled since he's come in. There's no doubt about that in my eyes. So, you know, error-stricken. Again, we do something stupid in a game which costs us. And it's the same players over and over again. It's got to stop. Just let him go. Let him have an opportunity to score. If he scores, we've got 80-odd minutes to get back in the game with 11 men, which I'm pretty sure we damn well would have. But because of you, Fraser then has to go off. I'm not sure about that change, by the way. You know, I mean, yes, Fraser's a wide man. A lot of people said bring Willock off because he hasn't been performing. But, you know, it was going to be hard on anybody that came off, to be honest. But Fraser took it like a man. He came off, he applauded the crowd. He knew the situation that Eddie Howe was in, that he had to bring another centre-back on. There was no doubt about it. And in steps Federico Fernandez, who was simply brilliant last night. His tackling, his awareness of the game, absolutely outstanding. But down to 10 men, the passion of the players, the effort of the players, I cannot simply fault at all. I thought every one of them gave 120% last night to try and get Newcastle a result. We saw it out to half-time. It was, yes, Norwich had a lot of spare space, but they obviously will with a spare man on the pitch. But I thought we covered it well. We defended very well. Dubravka had a free kick to save in the first half. Nothing really spectacular. We kept Norwich to very few chances, which I thought was superb. And get them in at half-time, Eddie Howe to galvanise them, and he did. So we come out for the second half. Norwich put a bit of pressure on us, have a lot of the ball, which you'd expect with 10 men. They're trying to get out of relegation trouble as well, and they thought they could go for the throat. But again, they didn't really hurt us in any particular way. And then, of course, the penalty incident. A corner comes in. It's headed towards goal. It is then handballed. Now, many people are saying, why was that not referred to VAR for a red card? Not sure about that, but anyway, eventually, after a long VAR look, the referee was sent to the screen, and 9 out of 10 times when the referee goes to the screen, he will give the penalty, which he did. Tim Krul, his usual self, winding everybody up and trying to stall the penalty and put Callum Wilson off. A bit of mind games, which we know that Tim Krul is very, very good at when it comes to penalties. And, of course, Callum Wilson steps up. Krul gets a hand on it, but unfortunately just onto the bar and into the back of the net. And that sent St James's Park crazy, which I have to say it was an absolutely amazing atmosphere in there last night. The singing, the chanting, everything. It was as loud as I've heard it in a very, very long time, St James's Park last night. But we couldn't hold on, could we? We just couldn't hold on. The 70-odd minutes, I think the goal went in. It came across. Dubravka comes out. Now, again, should he have caught it, or was he right to palm it away? Sitting behind the goal where that actually happened. Dubravka's at full stretch there. Not sure he could have caught it. It then comes to the Norwich guy on the left-hand side, flicks it across, and of course, Timo Pukki fires it into the net. It's 1-1, and then Norwich are on the offensive right from there. They go for the throat. Disappointing in a way that we didn't really try and win the game in the closing stages. Dubravka taking his time with the goal kicks, but it was clear that they'd had instruction. You don't lose now. You don't lose. It's 1-1. We take a point, given that we've only got 10 men. So, of course, Dubravka was taking his time with the goal kicks and everything like that to just see out the time, which, given how Norwich were playing in that last 15 minutes, it was probably a good move. Because I couldn't see us scoring. We were dead on our feet by the end of the game. So many players lying on the backs who'd done an absolutely stellar job keeping Norwich at bay. So 1-1 the result. For me, the result is very, very disappointing, obviously, because we know the magnitude of the game. We know that we should have got 3 points, and we probably would have. Actually, with 11 men. I was really, really pleased with the start we made until Kieran Clark made that gaff, and it's cost us big style. It really has. But singling individual players out last night is a little bit harsh because they all worked their arses off last night. There is no doubt about that. They played for the shirt. They played for the fans. And, I was disappointed at the boos at the end. I'm not sure what the boos were for. Because honestly, the way those players performed last night and the effort they gave, they deserved to be clapped off because they were stellar last night. You can't fault any of the efforts. Jamal Lewis coming back in at left back, I thought was really good last night. He lost the ball a couple of times, but he hasn't played all season. Let's give the lad a chance. I thought he did an absolutely brilliant job at left back. Manquillo did fine. The two centre-backs, Shah and Fernandez, were just incredible. Shah made one rick in the second half, which nearly cost us a goal right at the end. But to be honest, he looked like he was playing with a knock throughout the game. He took a knock in the first half, but he kept going. So hats off to Shah. That mistake, he would have been devastated had Norwich scored there. He was so relieved when Dubravka made the save. But it was nice to see that Dubravka went straight over to him and said, look, I've saved it, forget it, it's gone. Let's concentrate on the corner now and see the game out. That's what you want from a goalkeeper. Not bollocking him, just realising, because Shaw knew he'd made a mistake. So there was no point bollocking him in that situation. We needed the heads up, get rid of the corner, let's keep concentrating. But Fernandes, wow, what a game. I mean, he's been out for so long, in the cold, not even on the bench, and then he comes in, he's substituted on after, 9 minutes of the game, and what a performance. What a performance from Fernandes. I'm sorry, but he is our best defender at the club. There is no doubt about that. So I think Eddie Howe, he's got a decision to make. Obviously, Lascelles is available again on Saturday, but I wouldn't start Lascelles, not in a million years. Shaw and Fernandes have to be the back two if he's playing as a four. They simply have to be. They're well and truly the best players, the best defenders we have at that club. And given the magnitude of this game coming up against Burnley, we need the best players right on the pitch, in the trenches, working their asses off. John Joe Shelvey last night. Now, he's took a lot of criticism, John Joe, for not coming back and helping out. But he was, again, fantastic last night. Yes, he gave the ball away a couple of times, when he could have done a little bit better. But Jesus Christ, man, come on. This guy, people are ready to fire him down. Now, I've fired him down quite a few times, but I've also bigged him up when he's played well. And his tracking back last night, nobody can fault that. There was once I think it was the first half, sprinting his arse back to get the ball and win it back from Max Aarons on the right-hand side. It was brilliant. And that's the kind of effort that we want to see from John Joe. Some of his passing, again, was sublime. But you expect that from John Joe. And he's been consistent now for a few games. And I think Eddie Howe is demanding that of John Joe Shelvey, which he needs to do. But one player for me stood out by a mile as man of the match for Newcastle United, and that was Joe Linton again. I mean, that guy, from the word go, he just did not stop. He did not stop. Yes, he gave the ball away a few times in Joe Linton style, we know that. But my God, the effort that guy put in, not just going forward, but defensively, he was magnificent. And I don't use that word very often, but coming back, helping out the defence, clearing the ball when he had to. He didn't do anything silly. He was just all over the pitch last night, Joe Linton, and he worked his arse off. And for me, clear man of the match, no doubt about it. But the one thing that really impressed me last night, despite the result, was the effort. Those players, after that sending off, galvanised themselves. They were together as a team, and they worked their arses off as a team. And, the fans clearly appreciated that by the chanting, the singing that was going on, especially the second half. It was fantastic. But I was disappointed at the boos at the end because I'm not quite sure what they were for. Because to boo the team after a 1-1 draw with 10 men for 80 minutes, I think is mental. Absolutely mental. But Kieran Clark should never pull on that shirt again. Well, saying he should never pull on the shirt, that's a bit over dramatic. He shouldn't be considered for the starting lineup when we've got, without a doubt, better central defenders than him. And I think Eddie Howe got a wake-up call last night when it comes to the defence. He saw how Federico Fernandes played. He saw how Shaw played. And to be fair, he saw how Manquillo and Lewis played. Proper fullbacks in the proper positions, doing a wonderful job. But this is what Eddie Howe had to say after the game.
Yeah, I'm really, really proud. I said to them afterwards how well I thought they did tonight. Such a difficult moment for us with the season that we've had, and then to go down to 10 men in a game that we know we were desperate to win. We know that had a dramatic bearing on it, but I thought positives from tonight were the resilience shown by the team defensively. I thought we were magnificent to a man. We really did defend as a team. It was a collective effort. I thought Fede Fernandes was magnificent tonight coming into the team, and a difficult moment again early in the game. Sub, he's probably not expecting to come on, and Joe Linton's work ethic. There's so many individual performances, but the collective was, it was much improved from a defensive perspective, and we're going to need that obviously to lift ourselves out of our position.
So there you are. That's Eddie Howe's comments there, and again, just praising the players, praising the work ethic, praising the way they, and he came out and said a couple of individual names as well, but he also said that, as a team, we worked our backsides off, and we did. St. Maximin didn't really get into the game last night again. He's starting to frustrate me a bit, I have to say. I mean, he's a wonderful talent, don't get me wrong. He's one of these players that when he gets the ball, you just don't know what he's going to do with it. And he had a few runs last night, but nothing that really got into the danger zone. There was one in the second half that he got down the right-hand side and blazed it over, which has been the complaint of many Newcastle United fans about St. Maximin's, his final product. I probably would have took him off a little bit earlier, if I'm honest, because, defensively wise, we needed somebody like Almiron to come on, and he worked his socks off again when he came on, defending well, and we probably needed him a bit earlier because St. Maximin was sort of fading out of the game at that stage. But, I'm not going to criticise anybody. The only criticism from last night is Kieran Clark. An absolutely foolish error. And a complete, brain seize, if you like. Shocking error in the first place. But then to double that up with what he did was just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And he will be hanging his head in shame this morning because he let everybody down. The club, the fans, his teammates. He put his teammates' backs against the walls as soon as that red card was shown. And he'll know that. And Eddie Howe will have told him that. It was a foolish error. You've only got 8 minutes of the game gone. Let Pukki go. If he scores, he scores. Hold your hand up and say, I made a rick. But stay on the pitch and stay on the pitch to put it right. Don't do what you did. Just bring him down. Just concede the error. And if we go a goal down, let's get our heads up and get back into the game. But no, foolish errors, again, let this team down. And that's what needs to be eradicated from this team, is stupid little individual mistakes that are costing us points. Eddie Howe couldn't have done much more last night. He went with a very attacking lineup, proper players in the proper positions, and then, Kieran Clark goes and does that. But it puts us in a situation now where we're in deep trouble. We wanted 6 points from these 2 home games. We're not going to get that now. It puts a bigger, massive emphasis on the Burnley game now that we simply have to win. Because we don't want to be adrift going into December. That's a certainty. These games that we've got coming up in December are absolutely massive. Massive to the club. But the fact of the matter is, if we don't beat Burnley, we're expected to lose a lot of games in December. Undoubtedly. But the teams around us will probably pick up points, which means by the time the transfer window opens in January, we could be a long way behind. And who are we going to get in then? Who is going to want to sign for Newcastle United then? Nobody. It puts us in a terrible situation. But that's how we find ourselves in. The Norwich game is gone now. We have to look forward. Eddie Howe will get them back on the training pitch. He will work their asses off all week to make sure they are ready for Burnley. But one thing he certainly hasn't got to do, and I pray that he doesn't, is bring Jamal Lascelles back in. Because Shah and Fernandez seem to know each other's game very well. They know where each other's going to be. And they played superbly well last night. Backs against the wall for most of the game. But they contained Norwich. They contained them very well, I thought. Apart from the goal, which you could say, a couple of people could have done a little bit better with. But hey, you know what I mean? They were knackered. Because they'd been working their asses off because of Kieran Clark's stupid schoolboy mistake. And that's what it was. That's what cost us. So we have to look forward now. We have to look at the Burnley game and we have to do better. Every single player needs to keep their concentration and work their asses off. But that's my review of the game, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Are you disappointed with Kieran Clark? What were your thoughts when the red card happened? Should he have just let Timo Pukki go and, take a chance, 50-50 chance on Dubravka saving it? Because there was plenty time left in the game to get back in it. Let me know what you thought of individual performances, team performances. Joe Linton, Jamal, Lewis, Shelby. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But if you have enjoyed the video, guys, as usual, please do smash the like button for me and help me to continue to build the channel. If you're new and you like what you see, the channel is growing rapidly, so please consider subscribing. Lots of live shows coming up, lots of recordings. Tonight we've got the fan forum at 8:30. Tomorrow night at 8:30 we've got the match preview with me and Dave for the Burnley game. So lots and lots coming up. Please do consider subscribing. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care.